An explosion of automation games have shown up in the last 10 or so years. As someone who loves the craft of programming, this set of subgenres really appeals to me. Most of the games model some real physical process like electrical circuits in Minecraft, factories in Factorio, the transfer of energy through household objects in Contraption Maker, and then on the other side, there are the abstract ones that effectively have you writing code. The Google Blockly MIT Scratch family of games like Minecraft Voyage Aquatic, the low-level coding in Human Resource Machine, and the alchemy programming in Opus Magnum. Why did I bring all these up? Because today we're going to be talking about the VR automation game, the Last Clockwinder. Ahoy there! I'm Ulysse, looking at games from a design perspective, trying to pick out what works well and what could be better. So what's the objective in these kinds of games? Some of them basically let you create your own goals in a sandbox environment. Others are more strictly puzzle games. Some center around optimization, solving the problem by using less and less resources or time. And then there are ones like the Last Clockwinder, where the automation is cool, but the story is cooler. Part 1. Childhood Imagination. You play as Jules, who's returning to this giant tree in search of Edia after having a falling out years ago. Edia was the caretaker, the Clockwinder, of this botanical sanctuary, and she's left audio recordings of her interactions with Jules as a child, serving as clues for both figuring out what happened to Edia and how to operate the machinery. Blah blah blah, it's all very touching, right? Actually, it is. The writing and voice acting, and music, and aesthetic work really well. Don't underestimate a good story. The way the various rooms in the tree swap in and out feels straight out of a child's imagination. I created a portal and now I can teleport to the future. And as you bring more parts of the tree online, you discover new magic powers that the tree has. It's the kind of thing you want to tell your friends about. And it all just takes place in this room. While I enjoy creating automation for its own sake, I just really wanted to see what came next. And look how they tease you with locked levels on this roly-globy thing. Ooh, I want to go to that level. Oh, I have to produce some fruit molecules? Oh, okay, I'll do that. The rest is shrouded in mystery. What is this thing for? You want me to feed you pills? Okay, I gotta make pills, I guess. The game keeps you in this state of excitement and wonder, capturing how Jules must have felt when she first stumbled into this place as a child, and Edia introduced her to the amazing machine. And now Jules, and you, are back, rediscovering this childlike wonder. Part 2. Iterating and Optimization. The automation in The Last Clockwinder is like a less constrained, but subsequently less legible version of Opus Magnum. There are sources where you get the inputs for the room, then various ways to connect and transform these inputs into more refined stuff, and finally a sink for you to throw the finished, refined stuff in and add it to your inventory. To move all this stuff around and operate the machinery, you first record yourself doing one small part of it, and then it creates a robot to do exactly what you just did, repeatedly, forever. It sounds like it could get quite chaotic, but actually all the robots you create run in sync with each other, like beats in music or the ticking of a clock. You choose how many beats long you want the recording to be, 1, 2, or 4, and then start making the recording. Creating the automation is rewarding in 2 ways. The first way, it's really cool to see how a quiet room becomes this complex assembly line. After you've finished the first version of your production, watching it is mesmerizing. That's something I love about automation games. The second way it's rewarding is the optional optimization. On the side of the room, they write challenges for you in terms of how many robots you're using and the rate you're producing stuff. The main motivator for completing them is just to progress the story faster. It also captures that feeling that crafting, factory, and even clicker games spark in people, namely, getting as much return on investment as soon as possible. So you optimize, and your production goes faster. What took 5 robots really only needs 2. When you tweak the end of the production to go faster, then you can go back and tweak the beginning. It's like writing. You can't edit or improve anything until you've written your first draft. In the optimization, you discover and develop your own techniques. For example, in the case of these bells you have to ring by throwing fruit at them, I literally had one arm in a sling. Fortunately, there's no limit on how many robots you can create, so I basically created this insanely long line of robots only using one hand to bounce the fruit off the bell and to pass it to the next robot in line. Some of the optimization comes from just having good hand-eye coordination. Another facet I discovered is you can cut something with a knife, and then throw the knife to cut something else, even if you're not holding it. Part 3. Treated like an adult. I don't like it when games add friction to the player just doing what they want to do. Unskippable delays in dialogue and cinematics, constrained tutorials that have a lot of reading, upping the requirements to progress to make the game feel longer. There are a lot of little things in the Last Clockwinder that decrease friction. When the game started and I saw the radio, I was like, oh, it's going to be one of those games where you're always radioing stuff in. But actually, while the story is the driving factor in the game, it lets you engage with it as you wish. The radio dialogue is rather short, and none of Edia's audio recordings are required listening, although, of course, I wanted to listen to them anyway. The tutorials are the same. You enter a room, and notice there's a robot there already, showing you the new mechanic in this room. You look at what they're doing, understand, and then delete it, and make your own. Making your production faster just gets you more resources faster. So, although being more mobile and quick and accurate with your hands while recording your robot's actions can help, as I alluded to before, it's not necessary. In several of the rooms, I did not optimize at all, because I wanted to see what came next in the story, and that was fine. While recording the robot's actions, if you mess it up, it's trivial to cancel, and then waiting a few seconds to get back in sync to start recording again. And deleting previously recorded robots is instantaneous. Finally, if you get tired of coming back to resupply your seeds, the seeds that you use to seed your production in most rooms, you can just save up and buy the infinite seeds. Done. Don't need to come back to buy it again. That's all for now. Happy to hear your thoughts as well on the game design in The Last Clockwinder.
Why would the tree need